Welcome to Spring LIB.
In the given question, we are given two matrices A and B. So the question has three parts, and in the first part we are told that the matrix A has the elements 2, 1, 3, 2, and the matrix B has the elements 0, 4, 1, 3. And now we are told to multiply the matrix A with B. We have to find the product AB, right? So what we would do first is we would take the first row from the matrix A and multiply and add them with the first and second columns of the matrix B. So this means that first we start with 2 over here. So we will write 2 times 0 plus 1 times 1. So now we have multiplied and added the first row of A with the first column of B, right? Now next we will do it with the second column. So we will have 2 times 4 plus 1 times 3. So now we have multiplied and added the first row of A with the second column of B. So now what we have got over here is two elements of the product AB, right? Now let's move on. We are going to next take the second row of the matrix A, and we are going to do the same thing. We are going to first multiply and add it with the first column of B and then with the second column of B. So we will have 3 times 0 plus 2 times 1, 2 times 1, and when multiplied with the second column of B, it would be 3 times 4 plus 2 times 3. So this is how we would find the product AB of the matrices A and B. So you can solve this now. 2 times 0 is 0. 1 times 1 is 1. So 0 plus 1 gives us 1. 2 times 4 is 8. 1 times 3 is 3. 8 plus 3 is 11. Then we have 3 times 0, which is 0. 2 times 1, which is 2. 0 plus 2 is 2. 3 times 4 is 12. 2 times 3 is 6. 12 plus 6 is 18. And this would be the required answer that we have to find for the first part of this question. Now let's move on to the second part, right? We have been given the matrix A to be equal to 1 minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Then we have the matrix B, which is having the elements 3, minus 2, minus 1, 1, 0, 2. So we follow the same steps again. We first start with the first row of A. The product we are going to find is AB. So we first start with the first row of A, the first row of A, and we multiply and add it with the first, second and third columns of B. So what we would have is 1 times, let me write these numbers in different colors so you can just see them. Let's say the numbers in the matrix A are in red. 1 minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and the matrix B we have 3 minus 2 minus 1, 1, 0, 2, right? So let's start with the first row over here, and we are going to multiply and add it with the first, second and third columns of B. So we will have 1 times 3 plus we will have minus 1 times 1. That is the first row of A and the first column of B. Right? Now let's move on to the next element of the product AB, which would be 1 times minus 2, 1 times minus 2, 1, which is from A, times minus 2, which is the element in B, plus minus 1 times 0, which is the second element of the second column in B. So that gives us the second element of AB. Let's move on. Now we will have 1 times minus 1, which is the element in the third column of B, plus minus 1 times 2, which is the second element of the third column of B. So this, on evaluating this would give us the first three elements of the product matrix AB, right? So now let's go on. Now since we have multiplied and added the first row of A with all three columns of B, we will move on to the next row over here from A, which is 0, having the elements 0 and 1. So we will be just replacing these elements 1 and minus 1 in each of these step with 0 and 1. So what we would have then is, we will start with this second row, 0 times 3 plus 1 times 1. Next up, we will have 0 times minus 2 plus 1 times 0. Next, we will have 0 times minus 1 plus 1 times minus 2. 1 times 2, not minus 2, 2. 1 times 2. So now that we have completed the multiplication and addition of the second row in the product matrix AB, let's move on to the last row of A, which is having the elements 2 and 3. So 2 times 3 plus 3 times 1. Then we will have 2 times minus 2 plus 3 times 0. Then we will have 2 times minus 1, 2 times minus 1 plus 3 times 2, 3 times 2. So now this is how we would find the product of product matrix AB. Now we just have to evaluate each of these expressions, right? So let's start with the first element. We have 1 times 3, that is 3 minus 1 times 1 is minus 1. 3 plus minus 1 is equal to 2. Then we have 1 times minus 2, which is minus 2. Minus 1 times 0 is 0. Minus 2 plus 0 is minus 2. 1 times minus 1 is minus 1. And minus 1 times 2, minus 1 times 2 is minus 2. So minus 1 plus minus 2 is minus 3. Minus 3. Next up, we have 0 times 3 is 0. 1 times 1 is 1. 0 plus 1 would be equal to 1. 0 times minus 2 is 0. 1 times 0 is also 0. So this element is 0. 0 times minus 1 is 0. 1 times 2 is 2. So 0 plus 2 is 2. Then we have 2 times 3, which is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. 6 plus 3 is 9. Next, 2 times minus 2 is minus 4. 3 times 0 is 0. Minus 4 plus 0 is minus 4. Lastly, we have 2 times minus 1, which is minus 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Minus 2 plus 6 is 6 minus 2, right, which is 4. And this would be the answer, which is the product matrix of A and B. Now let's move on to the last part of this question. So over here we have A. It is the matrix 4 minus 3, 3 minus 1, 0 minus 2, and last row is minus 1, 5. In the case of B, it is having the elements minus 1, 3, 2, minus 2, 0, minus 1, 4, minus 3. So we are going to follow the same steps over here also, right? So as we have done in both the above problems, we are going to start with the first row and we are going to multiply and add it with first, second, third and fourth columns of B. So in the product matrix AB, in the first row of AB, how many elements we will have? We will have 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? We will have 4 elements in the first row. Then we will move on to the multiplication and addition with the second row of A. Again we will get 4 elements in the second row of AB. Then we will move on to the third row of A, which will also give us the next 4 elements, and the last or the fourth row of A on multiplying and adding with the 4 columns of B will give us the last row of the product matrix AB, and that would also be 4 elements in the fourth row. So the method is the same that we have mentioned in the above 2 problems. So let's just see what is the solution for this, or the product matrix AB in this case, right? So on solving by the same method, the solution of this part C, there would be the elements 4, 15, minus 4 and 1, 3, 10, 2 and minus 3, 0, 2, minus 8 and 6, minus 1, minus 8, 18 and minus 13. So this would be the elements that we would have in the product matrix AB in part C. So I hope you understood the steps that we have followed to find the answers in all 3 parts of this question. Thank you.